Basements. Dark, cold, and often the setting for our worst nightmares. What is it about these underground spaces that fills us with dread? Is it the isolation, the darkness, or perhaps the unknown lurking in the shadows? Today, we're diving into 3 terrifying true stories of basements that will make you think twice before venturing downstairs alone. Ready to be spooked? Let's get started. Our first story takes us to a quiet suburban neighborhood where an ordinary family discovered something extraordinary and terrifying beneath their home. Meet the Thompsons. They had lived in their cozy home for over a decade without incident. But one fateful day, while renovating their basement, they stumbled upon a hidden door behind an old bookshelf. Curiosity piqued, they opened the door, revealing a narrow, dimly lit staircase leading further underground. At the bottom, they found a small, windowless room covered in dust and cobwebs. The air was thick with a musty, almost suffocating scent. Inside, they discovered old, decaying furniture and a collection of strange, antique objects. Candles, worn-out books, and jars filled with unidentifiable substances. But what really caught their attention was the large, leather-bound book placed on a rickety wooden table. They opened the book and found it filled with cryptic symbols and handwritten notes in an unfamiliar language. At first, they thought it was just an old journal or a diary, but as they continued to flip through the pages, a feeling of unease began to wash over them. Strange things started happening soon after. They heard whispers coming from the hidden room at night, and objects in the basement would move on their own. One night, their youngest daughter, Emily, woke up screaming, claiming she saw a shadowy figure standing at the foot of her bed. Terrified, the Thompsons decided to seal off the hidden room and place the book back where they found it, but the disturbances continued. They reached out to a local historian who revealed that their house was built on the site of an old, abandoned sanitarium. The hidden room, he explained, was likely used by a former resident who practiced dark rituals. Desperate for peace, the family moved out of the house, never to return. The new owners, unaware of the hidden room's dark history, reported similar experiences. To this day, the house remains a source of local legend, with neighbors claiming to hear strange noises coming from the basement at night. Our second story is about a young woman named Lisa, who moved into a charming old house with a dark secret hidden within its walls. Lisa had just graduated from college and was excited to start her new life in her first home. The house was perfect, quaint, affordable, and close to her new job. But it didn't take long for things to take a sinister turn. One evening, while organizing the basement, she noticed an odd, almost imperceptible draft coming from a section of the wall. Curious, she tapped on the wall and realized it sounded hollow. With growing curiosity, she decided to investigate further. She grabbed a hammer and carefully chipped away at the plaster. Behind it, she found a small, hidden compartment. Inside was an old, dusty journal and several photographs. The photographs were black and white, depicting the house in its early days. But what caught her attention was the journal. It belonged to a previous owner named John, who wrote about strange noises he heard at night and the feeling of being watched. As she delved deeper into the journal, she discovered that John believed someone was living in the walls of the house. He wrote about hearing whispers, footsteps, and even seeing glimpses of a shadowy figure out of the corner of his eye. Lisa was both fascinated and terrified. She started hearing the noises too, soft whispers, scratching sounds, and the unmistakable creak of floorboards. One night, she woke up to the sound of footsteps coming from the basement. Gathering her courage, she went downstairs, flashlight in hand. As she approached the basement door, the noises stopped. She opened the door and her flashlight beam illuminated a pair of eyes staring back at her from a small hole in the wall. Lisa screamed and called the police. They arrived and discovered a network of hidden passages and crawl spaces within the walls of the house. Living inside was a homeless man who had been using the house for shelter for years, unbeknownst to its occupants. The man was taken into custody and Lisa moved out immediately, unable to shake the feeling of being watched. The house was sold again, but the new owners reported similar experiences. To this day, the house remains infamous for its unsettling history and the eerie presence that seems to linger within its walls. Our final story takes us to a small town in the Midwest, where a chilling discovery was made in the basement of an old farmhouse. The farmhouse had been empty for years, its previous owners long gone. The town was full of rumors about the place. Some said it was haunted, others claimed it was cursed, but no one could have imagined the horrifying truth hidden below. A group of urban explorers decided to investigate the abandoned property, hoping to uncover its secrets. As they ventured into the basement, they stumbled upon a heavy metal door partially hidden behind debris. After much effort, they managed to open the door, revealing a narrow, dimly lit corridor. At the end of the corridor, they found several small, makeshift cells with rusted bars and tattered bedding. The explorers were horrified to find evidence that the cells had been used recently: discarded food wrappers, dirty clothes, and shackles attached to the walls. It was clear that someone had been held captive here. They contacted the authorities, who launched a full investigation. It was discovered that the farmhouse had once belonged to a reclusive farmer named Harold, who had a dark and twisted secret. Harold had been kidnapping people and keeping them imprisoned in his basement for years, subjecting them to unspeakable horrors. Several missing persons cases from the area were linked to Harold, and it was revealed that he had managed to evade capture by moving his victims frequently and keeping a low profile. Harold was eventually found living under an alias in a neighboring state and was arrested. The farmhouse was sealed off, and the town tried to move on from the dark chapter in its history. But the basement, with its grim secrets, remains a haunting reminder of the horrors that once occurred there. Basements, places meant for storage and shelter, but sometimes they become the stage for our deepest fears. These true stories remind us that sometimes the scariest things are not figments of our imagination, but are rooted in reality. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the darkness. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more spine-chilling tales. And always be cautious of what lies beneath.